Good morning, everybody. My name is Alonzo Billups. I'm a senior mechanical engineering major from Los Angeles. Besides being involved with the ambassador program here on campus, I'm also a former D1 athlete. I used to play baseball here at the university. I'm the secretary for our Inclusive Excellence Student Advisory Council, which works with upper administration to affect change here on campus. I'm also a member of the National Society of Black Engineers, both here at our chapter here at Santa Clara, and then also on our regional executive board. So ask me any and all questions, because I'll be the one taking over the SCU Snap for today, and I'm looking forward to it. I got a question from Charlie asking about the athletics breakdown here on campus. So we have 3 different levels. We have Division I, which normally students are recruited for, and we have 20 different sports that are offered. We have club sports, which students operate more on a pay-to-play type of basis, and we have 17 sports that are offered. And then we have intramurals, which we offer 13 sports on a rotating calendar basis that are ran through our Pat Malley Fitness Center here on campus. If you have more questions, I've attached a link here at the bottom, so please go click and explore. Thanks, Adam, for the question about internships and careers. Santa Clara has a fantastic career center that helps students get connected with internships and full-time job opportunities post-graduation right here on campus. Also, if you are an alum, you can utilize the Career Center up to 5 years after you graduate, which is a time that a lot of students end up making changes in their full-time positions. But while on campus, they do offer STEM career fairs, regular career fairs for all majors. Within the business school, they also allow Fortune 500 companies to come in and screen students for internships. So the opportunities are endless, and your professors are also a great resource to use for research or to get connected to industry professionals.
Thank you, George, for the mechanical engineering internships question. So basically, there are 3 main ways you can access these mechanical engineering opportunities for the workforce. So Santa Clara has a career center that's dedicated to helping you improve your LinkedIn, resume, things like this. Then we have every fall and winter quarter, there's a STEM career fair. So a career fair that's dedicated to people in our types of major. On top of that, we have adjunct professors who work in industry. For example, one of our aerospace professors is a part-time professor, and he also works at NASA Ames as a structural engineer.
Thank you, Bella, so much for the question about how it's like just being on Santa Clara's campus for the first time. First time I came to campus was for Preview Day, which is the Admitted Students Day in the spring. That was super cool. I really got a feel for the community, which was one of the biggest reasons that I ended up choosing Santa Clara. When I did come onto campus for orientation during the summer before my first year, that's when I met a lot of my first-time friends that lived in my residence hall. And my OLs, the orientation leaders, they walked us around campus, showed us where our classes were, and that's how we really got acquainted to the university. Ishan, thank you so much about the question, asking me what my favorite thing about Santa Clara is. And this right here is my favorite thing about Santa Clara, the people. It's an amazing place. You never really meet people like these who are like-minded, kind, and really truly invested in you as a person. So I think that's my favorite thing about Santa Clara. Hey, Jared, thank you for your question about what it means to be Black here on Santa Clara's campus, because sometimes it can be hard being one out of the 3% of the undergraduate population that identifies as Black. So sometimes it can feel hard, but there are different avenues to get involved. Through our Multicultural Center, especially Igwe Buike, which is our Black Student Union. That's where I met my big, and I have 2 littles through that. Also, the National Society of Black Engineers, the engineering school. That's where I've had a plethora of career and internship opportunities, and also meeting like-minded Black engineers. We also have the Levy Black Business Association over in the business school. So we have those different avenues. Igwe, if you want something non-academic based, and then NESB and LBBA if you do want something academic based. Thank you, Sarah M., so much for the question about how impactful Preview Day was for me choosing to come to Santa Clara. I think Preview Day was the exact day that I knew that I wanted to come to Santa Clara, just because of the community aspect that Preview Day has along with it. We have every single student organization out here tabling, professors, deans, lecturers, anybody you can possibly think of, just the university community coming out to show off exactly what we do here for all of the admitted students, so that you can see that Santa Clara can be the place for you. Hey Lorna, thank you so much for your question about preferred housing and meal plans here on campus. Personally, for me, my first year, I lived in Campese, which is your standard double living, which is one of the three different living styles that we offer. So we offer the standard double, a mini suite style, which is you and your roommate connected by an in-house shower and toilet to another set of roommates. So that's over in Graham and Finn Hall. And then we also have our suite style, which is normally you and 7 other suite mates sharing 4 rooms, 2 bathrooms, and a common living area. For me, I definitely love the standard double living because that's where you got to meet a lot of people and you just have a lot of foot traffic in and out of the communal bathrooms that are on every floor. In terms of meal plans, I'm a huge eater, so I love the preferred plan, which offers you about 1,800 meal points to use. But we also have a basic plan, which is about 1,400 meal points that you can use throughout the quarter. Hey Jack, thank you so much for your question on how I manage my engineering course load. Not gonna lie, it's really difficult. Engineering is a pretty demanding discipline here at Santa Clara, especially because we are on the quarter system. So we don't have 15 weeks like semester schools have, but it's 10-week quarters. So the classes are moving a lot faster than you would be at a semester school. But we have a plethora of resources that students can use. We have drum and drop-in tutoring for a lot of your lower division classes. We have Tau Beta Pi, which is our engineering honors society, and they offer tutoring throughout the entire week over in Heafy Bergen, which is the home of the engineering school right now. And professors are mandated to hold 2 hours of office hours every week throughout the university. But one thing I really love is that Santa Clara is a collaborative space. So it's not cutthroat. I'm always working with my classmates on our homework assignments and our projects. So that's how I manage my course load. Thank you so much for your question about what we like to do on the weekend, Julia. I know for me, I really love going up to San Francisco. It's super accessible. Like I've kind of talked about before, we're right across the street from the Caltrain station. So if I do want to go up to SF, I can take the Caltrain. Or if I want to get up to Oakland, I can take the Amtrak. What do you guys like to do?
I love going the opposite direction down to Santa Cruz, hang out at the beach for the day. You can rent a zip car. It's really easy to go down there. It's a ton of fun.
I'm a fan of the more local options. So I like to go to Santana Row. I do a lot of shopping, walking. I love movies, and they have a really nice movie theater that has the reclining seats, and they heat up. So that's fancy. I have a car, so I just drive, but I used to Uber my first year and my second year.
Thank you so much for the great question about what a typical workload looks like for us, Lily. For me in the School of Engineering, typical workload per night is about 6 to 7 hours. Like I said before, mechanical engineering is a pretty demanding discipline. So it does take a lot of time for me to get through the homework that I have for my typical 4 classes that I take in a quarter. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm in the business school. It really varies depending on which major you are. I'm a management major, and I don't spend that much time. It's probably 1 to 2 hours a night.
I'm neuroscience and arts and sciences, so that's a hard science. It'll be a little different for social science majors, but for me it's probably 4 to 5 hours, especially if we have like a lab due that week. But my friend who's a history major, who we do homework together a lot of times, she finishes about 3 hours before me.
Hey Aiden, thank you for asking about foreign languages and culture here on campus. I'll drop the link to our modern languages department right on this snap. But we offer a plethora of different foreign language options for students to take and major and minor in here at the university. In terms of the cultures that we have here on campus, like I talked about with Igwe being in the Multicultural Center, we also house 9 other multicultural groups ranging from the Chinese Student Organization, Asian Pacific Student Organization, a lot of different organizations that students fall into here on campus so that they have a space to mix and mingle with students that look and have a shared experience with them. In terms of things off campus, San Jose is a really diverse community and a space where a lot of different things are happening, and also being so close to really the center of everything, downtown San Jose, cultural events are happening all of the time that students have access to. Hey Jack, thank you for asking about study abroad and abroad experiences that students can take advantage of while here on campus. About 33% of our undergraduate population will study abroad at some point during their 4 years, normally over that fall quarter of their junior year, just because it works out time-wise with a lot of the other semester programs around the world. We offer over 150 different programs in 50 different countries. So it really runs the gambit of things that you can get involved with and countries that you can go to and experience different lifestyles. Another aspect that students can get involved with abroad experiences is through our centers of distinction here on campus, our Markkula Center of Applied Ethics, our Ignatian Center, which I got involved with doing an immersion program. I'll drop the link for them right here on this snap, and also the Miller Center of Social Entrepreneurship. Thank you, Emma, for asking about how did I end up finding my people here at Santa Clara. I think that it's really nice being able to be at a university that is small enough that you are able to get to know people on a truly deep level, but then also big enough where you're constantly meeting new people on a day-to-day basis. So I think with that being said, how long did it take me to find my people? I still am finding my people, almost one every week, it feels like, especially as I start to wrap up my time here. But definitely in regards to the university does a great job at providing these different environments for students to come together and really have a community, definitely in the RLCs, the different residence halls here on campus, your classrooms, and a lot of the clubs that the university offers. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you, Kennedy, for the question about religion courses here on campus. Because Santa Clara University is a Jesuit institution, we are mandated to take religion courses, but that doesn't mean that you have to take your traditional Catholicism 101, 102, 103. You can mix it up, as a lot of students end up doing, because we have an expansive list, over 150 different courses that fulfill those 3 religion requirements that you do have to take to graduate. For me, I ended up taking Gods, Athletes, and Magicians, never opened a religious text. I took Women of the Hebrew Bible. Obviously, that one was a Bible-based, and I still need to figure out what the 3rd religion course I need to take is. But religion classes you do have to take.
Yeah, school spirit, great question. So I would say definitely school spirit is one of the things that brought me to Santa Clara, in terms that everybody's really friendly, and I've never had a bad encounter with another student. So I think just overall, everybody's very welcoming and just open to kind of helping and open to conversation. So no complaints here.
Yeah, I think just to piggyback off of that, Santa Clara does a great job for Broncos supporting Broncos. So regardless if you are involved with club, D1, intramurals, the arts here at SCU, or if you just have an expose for some of your work, a lot of time students that you meet in your residence halls or in your other classes will come out to support you in your different endeavors. So school spirit is very high here at SCU.
Woo.
Yeah.
Hi Kayla, thank you so much for your question. So I'm from Portland, Oregon, so technically I'm out of state. And statistics are 60% are from California and then 40% are out of state. And honestly, you just blend right in. I think it's cool because you learn about different people's experiences from where they grew up. And I think it's a great way to get to know people. Me personally, I've never really felt out of place. It's more so it's really fun to learn about California and the things that you can do here. So yeah.
Hey Maya, thank you so much for the question about getting involved with the arts here at SCU, even if you aren't an art major. SCU's art department is very open to students of all different majors and backgrounds getting involved with the different things that they have going on. We have everything from black box performances, jazz ensembles, musicals, dramas, anything you can really think of right here on campus in the arts. Students of all different backgrounds can get involved. If you are an arts major, you are required to get involved in different things in the arts department quarter to quarter. But if I, as a mechanical engineering major, wanted to get involved with the spring musical, that is totally in the cards for me to do. So it's very accessible.
Hello, Haley. I think you touched on an awesome point asking that question. So I can give you the statistical breakdown. So it's 30% female and 70% males. And I think about my experience in some classes. For example, I'm taking a heat transfer class right now, and it's an 8:30 a.m. class, which means that's not that many people, but there's only 3 females in that class. So it's pretty interesting to see, just it's not a reflection. It's not just here that you're going to experience it, you're going to experience it in industry too. So it's good you get it here, but I also wish there were more female, because the future is female.
Hey, Kathy, thank you so much for asking me about my experience in transitioning from going to high school in Los Angeles and then moving up here for school in San Jose. I'm not going to lie, in terms of diversity, it was a little bit difficult. My high school had 13% African American, and when I came to Santa Clara, it was about 3%. So in terms of the actual amount of students, it was pretty much the same, just on a larger scale here at Santa Clara. So that part was a little difficult for me. But I think in terms of the people and the type of relationships that I had, those stayed pretty constant going from high school to here. So that made that transition a little bit easier. Moving from a really large city like Los Angeles over here to San Jose, which isn't super big. I think the nightlife here in downtown is not as booming as downtown Los Angeles. So that was a little difficult, but it does get a little easier when you realize that you're only an hour and 15-minute ride from San Francisco on the Caltrain. I also want to go ahead and piggyback off of that last snap in terms of the weather change. I'm a true Californian, like all the way down to my bones. So moving from Los Angeles, where the low was maybe 60, moving up here to Northern California, the low sometimes at night, especially during winter quarter, will get down to about the low 40s, sometimes into the 30s. So that was really, really hard for me, especially when you walk outside and it's so frigid. But for all of the people in here that are from the East Coast, I know you guys are probably looking at me like, come on, bruh. But I know in terms of weather, that part was also pretty difficult for me. Thank you, Ria, for your question about what the academic transition was like from high school to Santa Clara. I think for me, my high school did a great job in academically preparing me for the challenges that Santa Clara was going to throw at me during my 4 years. So academically, I felt very strong coming in. I think the hardest thing for me, though, is the time management portion. When you go off to college, you have a lot of independence. You can do what you want. There are obviously social things going on during the academic week, so those are also at your fingertips. But really understanding that time management portion of, hey, should I go to this party on this Tuesday night? Or should I go ahead and write this paper that I haven't started that's also due tomorrow at midnight? So really the trade-off of that stuff and the time management conversation with yourself kind of happens at different points. So I think for me, the hardest transition wasn't academics, but actually the time management portion that comes with just maturity and growth. Hey, Lisi, thanks for asking me about my favorite traditions here at Santa Clara. I think my two favorite traditions, one would definitely have to be the midnight breakfast put on by our activities programming board. It's a totally student-ran organization, and every Thursday before finals week, we have midnight breakfast. So at 11:30, Benson Memorial Center, which is our cafeteria, opens up, and they serve us pancakes, eggs, sausages, tater tots, all that good stuff. And it's normally sponsored by either Yerba Mate or Monster or Red Bull. So they also caffeinate us to keep us going throughout the finals week studying. That is one of them. My second favorite one is the tailgate before the basketball game against Gonzaga. It's a huge game, national coverage, and it's a really great time that you really get to feel the spirit of Santa Clara on the athletic side of being a student here. So those are my two favorite traditions. Alrighty, so Sam from Chicago is asking to get a tour of the residence hall that I'm living in, which is the University Villas, which is the junior-senior housing option on campus for students. The place isn't super clean, so I'm going to give you guys a really quick overview, but this is the University Villas. So we have a living room, a kitchen space. That room right there is a double that students live in, and then we go ahead and head upstairs. Whoa. And then we also have another double right here, laundry, bathroom, and then we have two singles, which I live in that one right there. Also, just for context, I live with 3 other mechanical engineers, one computer science major, and one operation management information systems major. So that's why the place isn't super clean, because we have a lot of work going on right now. But catch us in spring quarter when things kind of settle out a little bit. I promise you guys the place is going to be a whole lot cleaner. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for all the questions. I hope that my answers and my friends' answers to your questions were beneficial and you guys pulled a lot away from this. I want to thank you guys for allowing me to host this and feel comfortable enough to ask me questions. Hopefully, I will see some of you around campus. If you do come for a campus tour, hopefully I end up getting you. But if not, please go ahead and connect with me on social media. hit me in my emails if you guys have any questions about the admissions process or just have any more questions about what it means to be a student on here, because we love to interact with you all and want to ensure that you guys have the most information and the best information before making a life-changing decision. So thank you again and good night.